This is Sonia from An Enthusiastic Reader, and I've been tagged. Good morning. The tag is called the Book Reviewer tag, and the original tag is by Read a Book Gem, and I was tagged by Hannah from Hannah's Books, and both of their videos are great. I've linked to them below, and I just want to answer the questions. Number one, where do you post your book reviews outside of BookTube? For example, Goodreads, social media, retailers, blogs, etc. I do have a NetGalley account, and so I have, over the last year, reviewed probably about 10 or 12 books from NetGalley. So you are supposed to post your review there on the NetGalley site, and I also post them on Goodreads. So I also have a blog, but it's very neglected. It's kind of dusty over there, but sometimes if I write a really longer review, I will post it on that site. So that's mostly where I post. I don't post on Amazon. I don't know, it's just a thing I have. I don't want to post reviews on Amazon. Even though they own Goodreads, it's just a weird quirk that I have, but I will post on Goodreads. I have been keeping track of my reading since 1998, and I created a Goodreads account in 2008. 10 years of writing it in a notebook, and then ever since then, I guess it's been 12 years of posting on Goodreads. I do have a lot of books on Goodreads that I haven't rated or reviewed. I just know that I read them, but I didn't remember enough to qualify myself, I feel, to give it a star rating. I'm very inconsistent, so if you ever look at my Goodreads, you'll see all of that. What is your star rating system? I actually wrote the answers to these questions over here. I rarely, if ever, give 1 or 2 stars over, usually if I'm really not liking the book very much, and I consider 1 and 2 star books to be books that are not good, and I will just quit reading them. But for some reason, if I do actually have to finish them for book club or something else, then I will give them a star rating, but I generally just bail if I'm not enjoying the book. So most of my star ratings are 3s or 4s, and 3s to me, what did I say? A 3 is a C, so it's a book that's okay. It's not a book that I would run out and tell people they should read. It's a book that I got through. I probably would never reread it, and I wouldn't enthusiastically encourage anyone else to read it unless there was a particular reason. A book that's a 4 is a book I really liked. I thought it was very strong. It has a lot of qualities in books that I enjoy, and most of my happy place is in a 4-star rating. And then 5s are reserved for books that either are so excellent or I just felt good. Like I felt like I was vibing with the mind of the book. Like, you just know, there's just like a frequency, I feel, that you feel something great about that book, and so you give it 5 stars. And it might not be the best book you've ever read, but it's a book that just somehow felt like it was written for me. And so that's very subjective. I don't have these strict I don't have strict rules for how I approach a 5-star book. I know it if I see it, and I give it 5 stars. Sometimes I will maybe change my mind later and downgrade it to a 4-star, or sometimes I will upgrade my star rating too. So it's completely subjective. There is no set criteria. It's like between me and my history of reading. I don't feel like I have to justify it to anyone, if that makes sense. Number 3, I thought this was a really fun question, and I kind of feel like everyone should use this exercise for every book they read, and I don't know if they will, but I like it a lot. Convince me to read a favorite book of yours in no more than 5 words. So if you know me, you've watched a lot of my videos, you know that this is one of my all-time favorite books, and here is my 5-star, here is my 5-word encapsulation. Widower reminisces pain and love. Old Filth by Jane Gardam. I'm sure everyone might be tired of hearing me cite that book all the time, but I'm still holding out for there to be a resurgence of people who love that book. So this would be fun, even for books you didn't love. Like, can you encapsulate a book in 5 words? I love that, just the thought of it, and I'm going to try and remember to do that more often because I think it's very clever and I like it. Which book was hardest to review and why? If a book is really hard to review, either it's controversial or, or it's really well liked by people that I know, but I didn't like it. Those are the hardest books for me because I don't want to say something that in any way impugns judgment on someone else for liking it. And I know sometimes when I really like a book and people I respect and admire didn't like it, it's just like, it's a little stab and it's silly, but those are the hardest books for me. Those are the hardest books for me to review. Number 5, are there any books you won't review or give a star rating to out of principle? Number 1, if I didn't finish it, I do not give it a star rating. I don't think that's fair to the author. Now, I know a lot of people go ahead and give star ratings to books they didn't finish. I'm not passing judgment on those people at all, so please don't see it that way. This is just for me. It's my own little code of honor or something that my goal isn't to trash books. That's not my ethic at all. If there are genuine reasons why a book doesn't work, I don't have trouble talking about those. But it's not my intention to hurt someone's career or really just be negative. There's so much negativity already in the world, and I don't feel like I need to add to it by really going on about a book I didn't like. I'm not afraid to say I didn't like something, but life is short, and I want to celebrate and amplify the books that I like, and to try and encourage other people who might be feeling like this is a book they might want to read. Okay, here we're to the viewing reviews section. A book you really want to read has terrible reviews. Do you still read it? I don't read published reviews about books before I read them myself, because if I'm excited about a book on the basis of the author or, little promotion that I've heard about it or something, and I know I want to try it, I don't want to be tainted in any way by a bad review. Now, but sometimes on BookTube, if you're watching a lot of videos, you can't really avoid hearing people talk about books they didn't like, because that's the nature of BookTube. And so if a lot of people that I respect and admire, and that we seem to have some of the same sensibilities in talking about books, and they hate a book, that might give me pause about reading it. So I am influenced in some ways by people around me that I expose myself to their ideas, and so I can't help but be affected in some way. There is one reviewer who I really respect that I feel like we have almost the exact same taste in books. And if I liked a book and I go up and look at the review that he wrote, it's generally right around the same star rating and we have the same opinions about books, and that's Ron Charles of the Washington Post. I feel like he's like a kindred reader for me, and so I really do trust him a lot. But again, I don't go and read his column to see what I should or shouldn't read. Number 7, where do you view book reviews outside of BookTube, and what is your preferred format? For example, short or long, video or print, etc. I read a lot of online book reviews in national publications, national websites, and then I also watch a lot of BookTube. So I feel like I get a kind of a nice rounded view of reviews that I'm interested in. And I certainly don't go out and seek reviews for every single book that I read. There's not time for that. And I'm just often left, not really caring that much about the critical reception of a book if it didn't really connect with me. Oh, I also read a mix of short and long. Also, I will go to Goodreads and see where the people that I follow on Goodreads, what they thought of something often. So, number 8, at what point do you view reviews of a book you're reading, before, during, or after? And do you seek out reviews similar to your own or opposing? I think I kind of already answered this, but I don't mind reading reviews that are not similar to mine. But if it's like a rant and it's a book I really loved, I will just skip it. I will stop reading it, or I will fast forward in a video, because I don't mind hearing opposing ideas. But if it's a rant, I can't help but think, oh, do I have bad taste? Why did I love this book and this other person just absolutely is nailing it? I don't feel like I need to fill my head with that. I don't really mind fast forwarding or skipping. Life is way too short. Stand out from the crowd, number 9. Which book have you read with the lowest rating on Goodreads that you loved? This was a really fun exercise too. And I thought it would be fun to show you a screenshot of the books that I rated the highest that got the lowest Goodreads reviews, including The Woman Upstairs by Claire Massoud, Mr. Peanut by Adam Ross, How to Be Safe by Tom McAllister, The Coffins of Little Hope by Timothy Shafert, That Kind of Mother by Rumaan Alam, and Who is Rich by Matthew Clam. My editing got a little bit messed up, but the next book I'm talking about is Who is Rich by Matthew Clam. It's about a graphic novelist. He's going to a writer's conference. His marriage is falling apart. He has had infidelities. I know that's a red flag for a lot of people right there. They don't like books about infidelities, but this was a lot more about him examining his own conscience. And the person he is having an affair with is really rich, and she and her husband fund a lot of conservative, ultra-conservative causes. And so he has to really examine his own politics, his relationship to his wife, their financial precariousness, and what it means to be a novelist that had a hit and then can't ever get any more traction. I really like the book, and no one I know has ever read it, and clearly the people who did read it and rated it on Goodreads did not like it, but I thought it was great. And finally, which book have you read with the highest ratings on Goodreads that you hated? And I'm not going to rant about this book, but Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. I did not like that book. I thought it was not a good book, and I know almost everybody that I know loved it, but it did not work for me. I thought it was, the storyline was very weak and melodramatic, and the nature writing was beautiful. I did like that part of it, but I didn't think it was a good book. So I am not going to rant anymore about it. This was a really fun tag. Please do this tag if you would like to, and I will leave the information below, and thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye.